So, if you are finding me here, you are likely interested in the Universal Love Curriculum, or maybe you've heard me mention it over the past few years and you've been a little curious about, what is this project? There is this quote from Richard Rudd in his Freedom Prophecy that has really stayed with me for years. And he says, in order to change the direction of a civilization, you have only to change the education of the children of that civilization. And as you're likely feeling and noticing, we are living in a time of enormous change, right? Ecological, economic, geopolitical, cosmic, interstellar, solar, spiritual, the list goes on, astrological. And there's so much noise, so much polarization and social fragmentation, right? And of course, our kids and young people are growing up inside of all of that. And the majority of them are online, right? They're overstimulated. A lot of them are anxious. And the majority of them are being trained to live and work inside of systems that are either falling apart or going through massive transformation. So the world that we're living in today is going to look just totally different a year from now. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like 10 years from now. So like more and more people on the planet, and together with the wonderful people who've been collaborators on this particular curriculum project, I have been asking myself, not, what's a great school to create, but how do we actually prepare kids for the world that they're living in and about to inherit? So it's not just about setting them up for some kind of like external success that was defined a century ago, right? But about helping them learn how to trust themselves as they navigate a vast unknown. How to restore and stay connected to their intuition, to their bodies, to the natural world, to the wisdom carried by Indigenous peoples for hundreds of years, while also making the most of the new tools and technologies and the incredible potential of the times that we're moving into. In a way, we want to support kids in learning things all of us are needing to learn now, right? Like, how do we discern truth from manipulation or simulation? How do we keep our hearts open and our spines strong without getting pulled apart by a cascade of cultural pressures to perform according to norms that are increasingly irrelevant, or to split the world into good and bad, us and them, or to pick a side? Oh my God, there's so much pressure to pick sides, or to live their lives entirely online at the expense of an experience of embodied wholeness, right? And a deep sense of belonging. So the Universal Love Curriculum has grown and is still growing out of these tensions, these polarities that we're trying to hold and celebrate and honor and embrace and grow through together. And our intention has not been like to create some fixed program or a new institutional structure. It's more about creating and offering a set of living, evolving, creative, and highly adaptable tools that will ultimately help young people stay connected to nature, to their humanness, which is becoming more and more precious, their inner wisdom, their communities, and the unique strengths of their local cultures. So we're not so interested in producing better, more efficient workers. What we want is to support human beings who can think clearly, who can feel deeply, who can collaborate well, and respond creatively when the ground shifts, because the ground is shifting big time. So we want to empower and nurture young people so that they can become highly agile, resilient, vocation creators. So in this playlist, I'm just going to be sharing updates and reflections, stories from the field as things continue to grow, glimpses into how the project is unfolding, whether it's here in the States, in Uganda, with our incredible co-creators and collaborators, in forest schools in Ecuador, in classrooms, in summer camps, in families, in conversations with educators and parents, or in small experiments that are teaching us as we go. So if you share our vision of education becoming more humanizing and more aligned with the times we're living in, please stick around. I'm so glad you're here. Everybody who has poured their love into this curriculum that is evolving, including my sister Marilee Aronson, thank you. Thank you for being here.